Most people think that improving your attention span is all about spending hours in meditation, strict routines, and eliminating screen time, but that's completely wrong. Today, I'm going to expose this myth and reveal the only 3 habits I quit to significantly boost my attention span. These changes made me more productive, less distracted, and gave me more mental clarity. So, let's start from the third thing you need to quit. Multitasking is a myth. We think that we're doing a whole bunch of things at once, but we're not actually, because the brain doesn't work that way. In a number of studies now have shown, from Earl Miller's lab at MIT and others, that what we're really doing is we're paying attention to one thing for a little bit of time, and then another, and then another, and then we come back around to the first. And all of these are separate projects that are occurring in separate parts of the brain. They require a separate start time, a separate monitoring process, and you end up distributing your attention span into little bits and pieces, not really engaging fully in any one thing. All that switching across tasks comes with a neurobiological cost. It depletes resources. So after an hour or two of attempting to multitask, if we find that we're tired and we can't focus, it's because those very neural chemicals we needed to focus are now gone. There are some jobs that require rapid switching. I'm an air traffic controller, simultaneous translator at the UN, journalists, monitoring all these different things at once, and we can take a tip from the air traffic controllers who, as part of their duty cycle, are required after every hour and a half or 2 hours of work, it's mandated that they take a 15 to 30-minute break. And that means an unplugged, disconnected break where they go for a walk or listen to music, they exercise, something to restore all of the burned up neurochemicals. I'm not talking about never letting something fun in, but I'm talking about adopting a kind of a habit of allowing yourself to focus on one thing at a time for at least a few hours a day. But there is another similar habit that is even more dangerous for your attention span, and almost 80% of the people fall victim of this, and that is poor sleep habits. Sleep disturbance is the symptom that is most common across all mental illnesses, including poor attention span. But what exactly is sleep? Sleep is the time when your brain used to repair itself or heal, and so when your sleep is damaged, your healing function is damaged, and so it propagates mental illness, less attention span, less focus, and so much more. So here are 3 quick tips on sleep. First of all, if you want to control your sleep schedule, it's not about bedtime, it's about waking up time. It is far easier to wake up when you're tired than it is to go to sleep when you're not. So if you're trying to control your sleep schedule, you're in for 48 to 72 hours of rough wake up. So you all should do is set an alarm, set it loud, and set it outside of hand reach, ideally outside your door with the door open. So when it rings, you have to get up and physically get out of bed. Bonus points, if you can splash your face with a little bit of water, it'll help you wake up. By all means, if you guys drink caffeine, do that. Control your waking up in order to control your sleep, but you may want to go back to bed. In that case, ask yourself, do I want to fix my sleep schedule? What matters to me more? Fixing my sleep schedule or going back to bed now? Try to ask yourself that question. Second thought is screen time and blue light inhibit melatonin production. So ideally 2 hours before you try to fall asleep, you want no access to screens. So physiologically, it's going to be easier to sleep because your melatonin will start pumping. Third thing is a bedtime routine is very, very helpful for sleep. So you can train your body and your mind to fall asleep at a particular time, like in a very Pavlovian way. Getting a good sleep schedule is all about harnessing the power of fatigue. You're going to use fatigue as our gravity to fall asleep. So the more you can increase your fatigue, the easier it will be to get on a good sleep schedule. You can read a book, you just don't want blue wavelength of light. Exercise if you guys feel like it, stretch, do yoga, all that stuff is fantastic. But even if you quit these 2 habits, it won't be enough to increase your attention span if you miss the next habit. Negative thinking can significantly impact your ability to concentrate and maintain an attention span. But why does this happen? What exactly is happening in your brain when you're caught in a loop of negative thinking? It's all about the brain's wiring and the stress response. Negative thoughts trigger the brain's fight or flight response, which releases stress hormones like cortisol. While this response is useful in real danger, it's counterproductive when the threat is purely psychological. High levels of cortisol can impair the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, problem-solving, and maintaining attention. As a result, you find it harder to focus, stay organized, and complete tasks efficiently. Now that we understand the link between negative thinking and attention span, let's talk about some practical tips to break this cycle, which brings us to our first tip, practicing mindfulness. This simple yet effective method can help you stay present and break free from negative thought patterns. But how exactly does it work? And what steps can you take to incorporate mindfulness into your routine? Mindfulness involves staying present in the moment and observing your thoughts thoughts without judgment. When you notice a negative thought, acknowledge it and then let it go. This practice can help you detach from negative thought patterns and reduce their impact on your attention span. But mindfulness is just the beginning. Another crucial strategy is to challenge your negative thoughts. Often, these thoughts are based on distorted perceptions rather than reality. So, how can you identify and challenge these thoughts to reduce their impact on your life? Often, negative thoughts are not based on reality, but rather on distorted perceptions. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, ask yourself if there's any evidence to support these thoughts. Are you blowing things out of proportion? Is there a more positive or realistic way to view the situation? By challenging these thoughts, you can reduce their power over you. However, negative thinking often starts from setting unrealistic expectations and then feeling overwhelmed when you can't meet them. Break your tasks into smaller, manageable goals and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small they may seem. This approach can help you stay focused and motivated. But there's one issue left. You learned how to increase your attention span, and these strategies work, but to a certain limit, because you actually need to understand the importance of boredom. Most people think that boredom is bad, and that's why they crave for the short-term pleasures, which actually murders their attention span. So you can discover the importance of boredom by watching this video. See you there.